Hey guys, welcome back. Well, look who's back in the garage. It's Big Vic. Real quick, this is my 2004 Crown Vic civilian model. It's got 160,000 miles on it. It's a base, so it's got no rear air suspension, no fancy equipment. It's all original engine, transmission, rear end, sheet metal, window glass, doors. Never been in an accident. She's been a cream puff for her whole life. The other day I washed it and I forgot just how shiny the paint is. This thing is 6 years older than the Merc, but the paint is much better condition. I did wax this car in 2012, but that was 7 years ago. I haven't waxed it since. Give you a little walk around. Got some normal door dings and scratches. One time I backed into a pole at a gas station and it pushed the bumper cover back in, and I went home and I got online to price it, and when I came back in to look at it, it popped itself back out. So thanks Ford for making good bumper covers. Oh, and if you're wondering why I had the black grill and that black piece back there, that's because I switched them out. When I got the car in '09, it had the chrome waterfall grill and the body colored little rear fascia back here, but I took that off to make it black, give it that black mean appearance. I got the grill for $20 off eBay, and I found a gentleman that lived close by. He was parting out a Berkeley UC Berkeley police car, and I got this rear fascia and the tail lights for I think $50. So I've been enjoying that since '09. It's got that light stone, light gray interior. I don't really like it. I wish it would have been darker, like the dark gray or even the black interior. There's really only two things wrong with this car that really bother me, and that's the valve covers on the passenger side and driver's side are seeping and weeping, but they've been doing that for the past 5 years, and it's just ever so slightly. You know, they don't leak. There's no oil leak on the ground. You know, as soon as it squirts out of the valve cover, it basically burns off or dries up, and I never clean the engine. Maybe I'll give you a peek at it. It's kind of embarrassing, but I don't clean the engine bay because it has a uniform layer of fine dust over everything. So as soon as the oil seeps out of the valve covers, it gets dried up by that fine layer of dust. And I'll give you a look at that. Oh yeah, watch these new hood struts I put on here. Watch how easy this comes up. Look at that, pure luxury. So this valve cover over here, well, this is probably not a very good flashlight to be doing this with, but you can see it's got the leaks all up and down the valve cover. Yeah. So not really interested in changing out the valve cover gaskets because it doesn't leak onto the ground. The second thing that bothers me a little is the differential leaks right where the drive shaft goes into the pumpkin. I put down cardboard, it drips a little bit. I check it from time to time, and the leak is so small, you know, it really doesn't even make a difference. Oh, and check out the headlights. The headlights are a little oxidized, you know, they've got that blurry orange yellow. I don't know how that's going to fare with my upcoming headlight review. Okay, enough about this. Let's get right into it. So this video, I'm going to talk about a full-size spare tire versus a donut space saver spare tire. And the reason I brought the Big Vic in the garage was to air up the tires, charge the battery, and check the fluids and all that. And so I had the spare tire out to air it up, and I thought this might be a good time to do that. So back in November of 2018, when I was shopping for the Merc, I looked at probably 6 or 7 different Grand Marquis, and some of them had the full-size tire and some of them had the Space Saver donut. And I really don't like these just because they're smaller, and you just they just don't look as nice when you get a flat tire. You know, I'd rather have the full size on there. So the Merc that I ended up buying ended up having the Space Saver donut over here. That's it right there. And the tires that were on the car, that's one of them. Two of the 4 tires were chewed up from an alignment problem. So I was gonna have to buy a set of 4 new tires anyways, but 2 of the tires were still kind of good condition. That's one of them right there. I just measured the tread, and it's in between 6 and 7/32 of tread. And according to the dot number, when I looked at it, it says 0214, so January 2014, and back in November of 18, you know, it's right around 5 years. So I've got a 5-year-old tire with 6 and 7, or between 6 and 7/32 of tread, and I thought, you know what, this would make a good spare tire. So what I did is I got the 4 new tires, and I chucked the other 2 bad ones, and I kept the 2, and so I just needed a wheel. So I went down to my junkyard, and they didn't have any. They didn't have any wheels. And when I went down there, I was only expecting to pay, you know, no more than $25 for a used steel wheel. So I got online looking for used ones, and the used ones were just about as pricey as a brand new one. So what I did is I settled on this Dorman. It's Dorman is the brand name, and the part number is 939108, and it's a 17 by 7.5 steel wheel. So I read some reviews on that, and tons and tons of guys are buying these wheels, and they're putting them on their Vics and Marquis, and it got a lot of good reviews. So I went with this. I found it at Amazon, and I found one on eBay, and the one from eBay was like $10 cheaper. I think I paid $55 or $60, and free shipping, of course. But I just went back on the website tonight, and they're back up to $80 and $90. Maybe the price of steel has gone up, I don't know. But they're definitely not $55 or $60 anymore. Now they're 90 bucks. So I was lucky to get it for 55 or 60, and then I went down to my local Walmart, and they mounted one of my old tires. They put a new valve stem on there. They even balanced it, and so now I've got my full-size spare tire. And I want to read you this out of the owner's manual. This is good for a laugh. This is out of the owner's manual for the car, and this is the section on roadside emergencies. And here it says dissimilar spare tire wheel information. If you have a dissimilar spare tire wheel, then it is intended for temporary use only. Okay, well that's nice, but that kind of meets my definition of false and misleading information, because temporary to me might be something completely different to somebody else. I mean, how many times have you been driving on the freeway and you've been overtaken by a vehicle sporting one or more of these temporary spare tires, you know, at a high rate of speed? It gets into the description here, and they call it a T-type mini spare. This spare tire begins with the letter T for the tire size and may have temporary use only molded on the sidewall. So that's what it does. It says it right there, temporary use only. And then continuing on, it says when driving with one dissimilar spare tire listed above, do not, in black bold letters, do not exceed 50 miles an hour. But I think we all know what people do with this. And then down here it says use of one of the dissimilar spare tires listed above at any one wheel location can lead impairment of the following: handling, stability, braking performance, comfort and noise, ground clearance at parking curbs, winter and wet weather driving capability. And that parking curb cracks me up. I mean, how many times have you seen people pull into a parking space and they darn near rip the bumper off, and they don't even have one of these on. They've just got their regular tires on. So imagine trying to pull into a space with one of these on. You know, when you back out, your bumper cover is going to be taken off and might even put a nice hole in your radiator. So I want to show you the size difference on this. I can get these to line up. Okay, look at that. So you can see how much thinner the temporary is than the standard full size. And measuring, you know, from the contact patch to the contact patch, it's about 4.5 inches, and on the regular tire it's 7 inches. So that's quite a difference. And then look at the height difference. It's about a 2 inches shorter. So that's the difference between the full-size spare tire and the Space Saver. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.